Okay, so what if I told you that you could communicate pretty much anything in English using just 850 words? Nope, it's not a trick. It's this really fascinating idea that kind of flips everything we think we know about language on its head. And honestly, it might just change how we all learn and connect with each other.
So, let me ask you this. How many words do you actually need to get your point across? I mean, think about it. The English language has something like 170,000 words in use right now. But do we really need all of them just to get through the day? Probably not, right?
But before we can get to that small, core set of words, we've got to zoom out and appreciate just how massive this whole language thing is. Our world is literally swimming in thousands of different languages.
I mean, the sheer variety of how we humans communicate is just staggering. You've got the beautiful, intricate script of Arabic.
Then you have the completely unique characters of Korean, the Cyrillic alphabet used in Russian,
and the amazing flowing script of Malayalam. With all this complexity, how in the world do you even begin to find a common way for us all to understand each other?
And that brings us to a really powerful idea. See, in the middle of all this complexity, people have been searching for something simpler, a common ground. What if you could just boil a language down to its absolute essentials? Create a small but super powerful toolkit of words that could handle almost any everyday conversation you throw at it.
That sounds like a pretty impossible job, doesn't it? I mean, where would you even start? Do you pick verbs? Nouns? How do you decide which words are the most important ones?
Well, turns out the answer is to start small, super small. You just take one single, common word, figure out what makes it so useful, and then decide if it's essential enough to make the final cut.
So, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do it right now. We're going to put a seemingly simple word, profit, under the microscope and break it down to see what makes a word truly essential.
Okay, first things first, pronunciation. It's a pretty simple two-syllable word, but check out the tiny difference between how it's said in the UK versus the US. In the UK, you'll hear profit, but in the US, it's a little more like profit.
All right, so what does it actually mean? Well, as a noun, a profit is a thing. It's the money, the cash you have left over after you've paid for everything. It's a gain, something you can actually count. But here's the cool part. It can also be a verb, an action. To profit from something means you benefit from it, you gain from it. That flexibility, right there, is a really good sign for a word that wants to be considered essential.
So, here's the key takeaway. This one little word can describe both a concrete thing, the actual money, and an abstract action, the act of gaining. That versatility makes it incredibly useful, like a Swiss Army knife of words.
All right, time for a little fun. The English language is full of these weird little traps. Does this word, profit, make you think of any other word?
That's the one. Profit, spelled totally differently, means something completely different, but it sounds exactly the same. It's a homophone. And it's a perfect example of why learning English can sometimes feel like a real puzzle.
Okay, so we've established that profit is simple, it's versatile, and its meaning is pretty clear. But is that enough? Does all that make it one of the most essential, most important words in the entire English language?
The answer to that question is hidden in something called the BE 850 list. And this is where our simple little word suddenly becomes part of a much bigger and way more ambitious idea.
850. That's it. That's the magic number. We're not talking thousands or tens of thousands, just 850.
This is the BE 850 list. The B stands for Basic English. So back in the 1930s, a linguist named Charles K. Ogden had this wild idea to create a super simplified version of English. He curated this list of 850 words that he believed was enough to cover all of day-to-day life and even explain really complex ideas. And our test word, profit, yeah, it made the cut. It's officially an essential word.
So why does any of this matter? I mean, who cares? Why would anyone go to all the trouble of boiling a language down to just 850 words?
Well, the power of an idea like this is actually huge. For someone just starting out, it's a massive shortcut to being able to communicate. For those of us who already speak English, it forces us to be clearer and more direct. It builds this amazing foundation for learning more complex stuff later on. And maybe the most important part, it could be a powerful tool for global understanding, like a bridge between different cultures.
Which really leads us with a fascinating question to chew on. If this tiny set of words can do so much, what does that say about how we normally communicate? So here's a little challenge for you. The next time you need to explain a really big idea, try doing it with only the simplest words you can think of. You might just be surprised at how powerful that can be.